Far from the romanticized visions in movies and literature, all of medieval battles were ugly, chaotic, and horrible experiences that tested human strength and courage to the maximum. Picture a battlefield filled with clashing steel, the roars of thunderous men, and the cries of war horses. The ground is covered with mud, slippery and smeared by the rain and blood. Soldiers in heavy armor, both chainmail and plate, slog in the most ferocious form of hand-to-hand combat. This was the reality of medieval warfare. First in rank were the knights, the most chivalrous of them all. Upon their armored horses, they gallantly spurred forward and engaged the opposing knights in combats. Rather professional than chivalrous, the knights were trained as killers from their childhood. Men-at-arms were paid soldiers who backed up the knights to become the nucleus of the infantry. These men were wearing good armor, carrying good weapons, and took their position at the front of the battle to fight the enemy in hand-to-hand fighting. Moreover, there were the archers, who would be placed behind the infantry or find themselves on higher ground to support their infantry by shooting arrows to either break up enemy formations or bring down particularly valuable enemies, such as knights or commanders. At the very front were pikemen, armed with long pikes, to discourage the enemy cavalry. This length of the weapon made it quite useful against the knights in order to prevent them from breaking through. Lightly armed infantrymen, dispensably very lightly equipped, carried out a variety of tasks, from skirmishing or harassing enemy lines to being scouts or messengers. The battles took a great toll on the mind, the constant creeping fear of death, an everyday sight of fallen comrades, and the sheer brutality of battle combined to leave a great many scars on the men who lived through it. Such romantic conceptions of chivalry very often found an antithesis in the bitter facts of war, in which survival was all too often accomplished with guile and ruthless cunning. In essence, the medieval battles were a mix of strategy, skill, and sheer brutality, illustrating a stark depiction of the grim realities of life and death during the Middle Ages.